my mind, I was able to think and process. And if I let him get back up, he's going to get back up. I was like, let me finish this right now. And I caught him with that left hook, and then I caught him again with that right hook just to make sure the job was done, because I was calculating his hands wasn't touching the ground and his knees weren't touching the ground, but I know he was still going down. To make sure he wasn't getting back up, I had to let those last two off, man.
Combat Sports Report. Only on SportsGrid.
He's just only 2,300 points behind. So even if he does win at Memphis, he's still going to be behind Scottie Scheffler in the points by 300. So why? I mean, I want Scottie Scheffler to show up in Memphis, but does he need to? If Rory's not showing up and the third place guy, even if he wins, isn't going to pass him?
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
What do you make of the season that Barkley had last year as he piled on the yards to get over 2,000, and what can that look like this year?
His year could have been much better with different circumstances here. So he was great. I assume he'll be great again. You want to take Jahmyr Gibbs? I don't have an issue with it, but, Barkley, yeah, you're going to lose the tush push.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Big Fish is the best player in the WNBA. She is running away with the MVP award. Why is that? Caitlin Clark, injured. Asia Wilson, not playing at Asia Wilson level, but it's more about the fact about what's around her has been an issue. So to me, Fish is almost like the MVP because everyone else has gone down in some way, shape, or form.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Hey now, having some fun here as we get it started, and we always like to reach out at this point in the show and see what the public has to have to offer, because we ask questions that the public needs to answer so we can then question the public on what they're actually answering here, Joe. So as we sit here today on a Tuesday waiting for Thursday football, the question that we're going to ask the public is not a question about football, it's about baseball, but let's hear from the public here. Yeah, fading the public today. What question could we answer? We always like to keep it as a hot topic in the sports landscape here. At SportsGrid, we asked, should there be a salary cap in Major League Baseball? There's only two answers. It was yes, and it was a no. And I'm not surprised by this vote because I told you to open the show, Joe. Me as a Phillies fan don't technically want a salary cap because my team spends money. Yankee fans don't want that. Dodgers fans don't want that. If your team spends money, you want that cap to be as high as possible because you'll get more players and better players than anybody who doesn't want to spend money. But for the good of the sport, I do think there needs to be some salary cap restraints. So I voted yes, along with 62.6% of the people out here. The no's, right around 37%. Looking at the Major League Baseball salary cap and if it is getting imposed, the public says yes, Joe. What do you say?
Yeah, listen, there is no doubt that there is a issue with the way Major League Baseball is structured. The money keeps the revenue that it keeps generating, Donnie, continues to go up. Again, I mean, over $12 billion. And how much of that $12 billion do you think the Royals or the Pittsburgh Pirates in that market actually contributed to? No, it was a handful of teams that are responsible for a majority of that money. And guess what, though? What is the motivation if I'm Pittsburgh or Miami or Kansas or these smaller market teams, Donnie? What is my motivation to actually want to have to spend money to put a winning product out on the field if I'm still getting paid regardless? And that's the issue here. So, if only the Dodgers, Yankees, and Red Sox or Giants can afford the best of the best, then you've got an issue here right now. You really do.
You do have an issue because let's understand this as well. Without looking at the exact payrolls and structures of the teams, the Tampa Bay Rays 54 and 53. They never spend money. They're in fourth place, in the AL East. The Orioles, notorious for saying Remember the Angelos family? We don't want to spend any money. We make money here. And heck, like the Angelos family actually let the Washington Nationals into their market because Major League Baseball gave them a chunk of money. That's how crazy they are as a business. The Chicago White Sox in last place, not spending money right now, but still a big market team. They should. The Royals under 500, which, yes, they did win a championship a couple years ago, which now feels like 10 years ago, but they're perennial basement dwellers here. Look at the A's. They told you all the time, we don't even have a home right now. We're not spending any money. They got 46 wins. They're in last place. The Washington Nationals, who technically are in a decent-sized market, even though they split it with the Baltimore Orioles, they win a championship, and they sell their team, and they're in dead last. And then, the NL Central, the Pittsburgh Pirates, notorious for not spending money, they're in dead last. The Colorado Rockies are basically telling you, we play in a big market, but we don't feel like spending money, and we'll be in dead last for the next decade to come. So for me, when I set up the landscape of Major League Baseball, Joe, answer me this, though. How can you have a business structure that rewards a team for spending no money? Like if you are the Marlins, right, one of the more profitable teams in Major League Baseball, you say, wait a second. Nobody probably watches them on TV in South Florida. Nobody goes to the baseball games. How can that be? Well, the Marlins understand, Joe, if they have like a $30 million payroll and keep it bargain basement, and the Dodgers start signing guys like Ohtani left and right, Major League Baseball will essentially give them the money for their payroll, and everything else is gravy on top of that. The Yankees talk about it all the time. If I'm going to spend money and I'm going to try to win a World Series, how can I not be as profitable selling out stadiums in the New York market than the Marlins are when they don't even try? How did we get a business structure like that was accepted in baseball, Joe?
And that's the problem here, right? Now, I get the argument that, guys like Scott Boras and for his clients, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that never happens. Well, that's because Scott Boras represents the top, the 1%ers here in Major League Baseball, guys that they know they can go out and get that money, and he'll go out and get that. But what about, and this is the other problem, what about the guy that makes $4 million, the league minimum here? What chance does he have? And why is it, would he make more money if there was a cap here? Because Harper's not making $350 million. So maybe the guy on the bottom of the total poll, maybe he can even it out here a little bit. It's just that they're going to put the Harpers of the world against the minimum salary guys, and that's how the owners think they're going to end up winning this thing, is by having internal fighting among the players.
It's crazy because, baseball does have one of the more stronger unions out here in the process. It's interesting, like the way different leagues go about it, right? We don't get holdouts in Major League Baseball. Isn't that interesting, though? Yeah. Like the union just doesn't accept that as a way of like a ploy where it's like, I'm in the last year of my deal. I make $32 million. I'm not playing until I get a 5-year extension. No, they play it out right through there. You take a look at basketball. Have we ever seen like LeBron James or let's just say a Kobe Bryant back in the day or Charles Barkley? I'm holding out this season because I want more money. Like, it's funny the way things work where they understand once they get the free agency. And there's a lot of things that help the owners. Like, we talk about Major League Baseball being really lucrative, but also once with the NFL, I'm going to come in, I'm going to sign a 5-year deal, and that's it. Like, there are some players that don't get the free agency in Major League Baseball till like 29 years old, and all those arbitration years on top of it. Like, there are self-imposed like limits on what some of these players can make, and you would be astounded. Like, hey, rookie contract that he's still working on. Oh, he's in arbitration. Guy hit 40 home runs last year as a 24-year-old. What's he making this year? $850,000 because he went to arbitration and finally got that. So I think moving forward, there has to be a happy medium. But let me ask you this question. If I give you odds on a lockout or let's just say a strike coming up by the end of this bargaining or even before it, what do you put those odds at?
Oh, I think you're heading. I think you're close to 70% chance there's going to be a strike here. I really, really do. Because more and more owners are continuing to talk about limits and caps and those types of things. And again, it's Manfred controls the power here. So you know what the owners are going to do here, Donnie, right? They're going to go, oh, okay, so you don't want a cap. Well, you know what? We haven't been drug testing for this, or this. So you know what? Now we'll go ahead and implement all these other things that it's going to be a battle, and I don't think it's going to get prettier. I think it's going to get uglier, and it would not shock me if maybe even in 6 months from now, Donnie, we're going, there's a strike happening. It's like a 99% chance there is a strike coming.
Yeah, and also like they start to get that war chest together where you save up for the players, so the players that don't make that much money and all that stuff, that's going to start to come. You see about that in other leagues when they start to disperse that money. But also understand this, like Major League Baseball went through a devastating strike/lockout in the 1990s.
Yeah.
You know how baseball came
ruined it.
back? Because it was a dead sport where they said, all right, baseball looked the other way and goes, you guys juice to the gills. People love home runs. We saw home runs absolutely flying out of the ballpark. The race between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in that summer of 1998 saved baseball as baseball goes, we know some nefarious things are happening right now, but we need to get our business back on track, and this is a way to do it. I wonder how the public in this fast wave, exciting environment of all social media where baseball is gone, I will be mad because I love to watch it and gamble on it and handicap it in the summertime months. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of people out there, Joe Ranieri, that in April, May, and June aren't going to say like, oh, I wish Major League Baseball was here. And that's being honest.
That's a problem here, and the owners know it because you strike again, you run the risk, Donnie, of people never coming back because you don't have the Sosas and McGuires and Cal Ripken Juniors of the world to save you.
Exactly. Just the way it is. And next up, the way it is in Chicago, Milwaukee. This talk about it next.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Major League Baseball, let's hit a few of these bad boys today. Some of the biggest games across the sport today. We got a full slate here. Loved it. Loved the slate yesterday on a Monday. Another big slate today on a Tuesday as we gear up for Thursday's trade deadline, which takes place at 6 o'clock. We'll see some of these guys will be on the move. But the one thing we do know is Statistics, they're on the move, and so are the standings here. 903, 904. Let's get started in Milwaukee, fresh off of a victory last night for the Brewers, 8-4 over the Cubs. Colin Ray on the mound today to take a look at Quentin Priester on the opposite side. Two right-handed pitchers, a 7:40 start tonight. The total of this game opened up at 9 overnight, Joe. We're down to 8.5. The side, a minus 130 price that opened in the favor of Milwaukee, is down a little bit, looking more of that 115 minus 105 split as you see the graphic there, 116, 102. I got to tell you, if you look at the starting pitchers here, Joe, number 3 on my analytics card today over the past, 45 or so, 40 innings, is Quentin Priester, a 2.70 ERA, a 2.81 xFIP number. You take a look at Colin Ray, his last 40 innings pitched, 4.28 ERA, 4.82 xFIP number. You might not have heard a lot about Quentin Priester, but this is really the charm of the Milwaukee Brewers. Guys you haven't heard of, having really good seasons. And I got to tell you, I do like Milwaukee again today, Joe.
Yeah, I do. And I like the over, Donnie, because I don't trust Colin Ray and way that Milwaukee is swinging the bats. And obviously, if you can drop 3 home runs last night against your best pitcher, what are they going to do to Colin Ray here today? I think that number is a little low at 8.5. And both bullpens should be in pretty good shape, although I believe McGill ended up getting the save last night for Milwaukee, but it was a 4-run win. So I still think runs are coming. I'm with you on Milwaukee. I like the over 8.5.
See if it finds out today, but every win so crucial in the series. Extend your lead, try to tie the other team up because they have a 1-game lead here. Fill the Milwaukee Brewers. Game number 2, we'll take a look at a 9:40 start tonight out on the West Coast, 9:07, 9:08. Fun game last night, unless you had the Mets as a money line ticket. Easy victory for them turned into a loss as the Padres walked them off. Tonight, the New York Mets are going to show Sean Manaea on the mound, the left-handed pitcher, going up against Mr. Bergert for San Diego, the right-handed pitcher. This line opened up, minus 120 price overnight. Still sits in that same category. Minus 120s to minus 130s in the betting landscape. As you see the graphic about to pop up, a minus 126 price with a total that's listed at 8. Both of these guys, interesting enough, over the past 6 weeks, each have 12 and a third innings pitched. So not a big track record, but Manaea's got a 2.19 ERA and a 2.84 xFIP number. When we take a look at our guy Bergert down here, his 12 and a third innings pitched at 3.65 ERA and a 4.33 xFIP number. Technically, I think you have the better team and the better side on Sean Manaea, but they are a road team in this environment coming off a loss. Are you taking that short price here on the Mets or maybe more fireworks from the Padres tonight?
Yeah, I think we might get some more fireworks here. I do like the Mets' chances of bouncing back in this one, but I wouldn't be shocked on maybe a little warm evening there in Southern Cal that we can get a few more than 8 runs. I don't like the Mets' bullpen at all here. We had some Suarez blew the lead save last night and then was bailed out in the bottom of the ninth. I think we might get more runs coming here tonight with both these teams trying to turn it up a notch here. You can only play so many 3-2 games here. I think we got more offense tonight as well in this one.
Maybe more offense in this next game as well. Yesterday, you had one of the better hitting situations, which not weird from a pitcher's perspective, in Kansas City. Hot temperatures in the 90s with the wind blowing out. If we take a look at the temperatures tonight in the game we're going to look at in Kansas City, I have, once again, 94 degrees at first pitch with a light wind blowing out to left field in Kauffman. That's for the Atlanta Braves and the Kansas City Royals. The Braves offense came to light yesterday, a day later, because I thought they would come to life the day before, but they didn't. Fetty's on the mound, though. Taking a look at Seth Lugo, a 7:40 start tonight. And look at this price point. Like, Fetty's a terrible pitcher. Lugo's on the mound. He's only a minus 124 favorite today in a total that's listed once again at 9.5, which means you need double digits. I have Fetty as the worst pitcher on my card today, and we're looking dead in the eyes of basically a 10 total today out of Kauffman for Kansas City. Joe, what do you think about this game between Fetty and Lugo?
I love Kansas City in this spot. Listen, the Braves, you have no idea how rare that road win was for them yesterday. They had 3 home runs, but here's the best part, is they walked 14 times in that game. That's not happening with Seth Lugo on the mound here. I like them to bounce back. He just got his money, right? He got the extension. He's going to be able to pitch with a sigh of relief there. And Atlanta's entire opening day rotation, by the way, is now on the IL. So don't think we're going to get back-to-back efforts like that from the Braves. I like Lugo. I like the price. Don't like Fetty. I'll take Kansas City.
Yeah, take a look at Fetty. Last 6 weeks, Joe, 22 2/3 innings pitched, and he basically was released by his team, then traded for basically cash considerations. He has a 10 ERA over his past 22 and 2/3 innings pitched. He got a 6.25 xFIP where, like, usually see that high xFIP. It's like, well, I only had like 2 innings and I really got roughed up. But through 22 and 2/3 innings, it basically means like everybody's hitting fly balls, home runs, and doubles off the guy. If you just get it to its more simpler form here, his last 71 batters that he faced, a 323 ISO power number against, which is insanely high, a weighted on base percentage of 503. Like that's combining lefty and righty batters. Like, hey, well, he only struggles with left-handed batters and dominates righties. Everybody's beating him up. Why? He strikes nobody out, walks too many players, and gives up hard contact. You take a look at the lineup tonight for the Kansas City Royals, at least anticipated, right? India, high weighted on base percentage. Witt, high weighted on base percentage. Decent ISOs from Pasquantino and Michael Garcia. Salvador Perez, off the chart numbers. John Rave here, 50 at bats, a 233 ISO power number. And also not a lot of Ks in the lineup. So if I look at the lineup itself for Kansas City, Joe, and say there's 9 guys anticipated, 7 of those guys don't strike out, a pitcher that can't strike anybody out, and 90-degree temperatures, like, we should be liking Kansas City, but the thought process and then it creeps in is like, all right, the Braves bats were hot yesterday. Could they stay hot today? But come on now. I think I have the better lineup and the better pitcher. Why am I looking at a minus 175 price today, Joe?
Yeah, that is a great question, and I don't know. I'm with you here, Donnie. I think we're going to have some interesting ones, interesting scores here today. Last night was a bit of a head scratcher across the board. I think we get a little bit more, a little more sensible and a little more favorite action here tonight.
Now, we should. And by the way, take a look at the rest of that Major League Baseball card. It does start early today, people. Why? We have a doubleheader between Toronto and Baltimore, which we're going to hit next, as well as take a look at those New York Yankees taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, and much more baseball on the docket as we wait for the trade deadline to occur. But I'm seeing more and more, Joe. No 7.5s, no 8.5s. 9s, 9.5s, 10s out here. Runs and more runs, people. That's what we love. Major League Baseball in the early line, the best place to be.
Shamar Stewart is having troubles before he even plays a snap. And he's seeing what's happened to the stars of this football team, by the way, right? The Higgins stuff wasn't super smooth. The Hendrickson stuff's not smooth.
But why pay him that big number where you've got Trey Henderson, who's an absolute superstar at edge? You always build a defense. Why haven't the Bengals been back to the Super Bowl in the last 4 years? It's real simple.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Drummond gives you minutes off the bench. I've always been a big Kelly Oubre guy. And Nick Nurse is supposed to be one of the top 5 coaches in the world. You can't tell me that at 12-1, the Philadelphia 76ers aren't at least something you need to consider as a sleeper to make it to the NBA Finals.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
He'll be your reserve, your extra guy here. Listen, we all need that. I say this all the time about outfielders. Most leagues, I don't know about your league, but we start 5 outfielders. Even if you're in a 10-team league, that's 50 outfielders. Plus, you got some guys at utility. Plus, you got some guys on reserve. 70 outfielders are gone. All right, so outfielders are extremely valuable here. And Moniak, if he's available, is a nice guy to pick up right now.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
I feel they're all completely justified. The numbers, they're nearly identical. And speaking of identical, I don't know if you saw that one, Craig. That was pretty wild. From winning their first major to winning their 4th major, both Tiger Woods and Scottie Scheffler completed that task in exactly 1,197 days. Both of them, in the exact amount of days, won their 4th major.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Right back at it, people. Major League Baseball today gets started right away. A day-night doubleheader, 12:35 start and a 6:35 start between Toronto and Baltimore. Is it important for Baltimore, Joe Ranieri? No. Is it important for Toronto? Absolutely. They got smoked yesterday in their game going up against Baltimore. The Baltimore bats got hot, and they just couldn't catch up. But sometimes it's tough to understand who these starters are going to be. Anticipation at 12:35 for Fisher versus Morton. And game number 2, Toronto's going to throw Lauer against Martin for Baltimore. So Morton and Martin as a law firm today going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's tough for me because, hear me out on this. I always think of a doubleheader as both teams are going to win each game. That's really the way it falls. So if you are a good baseball team like Toronto, you don't want doubleheaders because you feel you're better than Baltimore and you can beat them on back-to-back days. But if you are a team that's like struggling and bad, it's like, yeah, give us a doubleheader. They win the first game, they probably won't have enough available for game number 2 in their bullpen or their closer because they probably had to use them. How do you approach a doubleheader? And also, we're looking at low numbers here. Like game number 1, Baltimore minus 132. Game number 2, roughly a pick 'em between these two pitchers. Do you bet the first game and forget about the second, or wait for the first game to get over and then bet the second? How do you do it?
Well, I mean, listen, Baltimore, a lot of good things worked out for them last night against Chris Bassett. Number one, they ended up getting Rushman back in that lineup, 3 for 5 with a couple of doubles and 2 ribbies. He was good. Laureano has been crushing the ball. Mullins. These are all possible trade guys, too, with Baltimore. Westberg, they've got a lot of guys swinging the bat really well right now. And then the Blue Jays, is Springer playing or not? Because he got drilled in the head in the game last night and then left the game. And that is a different lineup. Springer has been phenomenal for them here over the last month while they've been getting red hot. So I would look for runs, and maybe more specifically with Charlie Morton on the mounds. I'd look for a few more runs than people think here. I know it's 10, Donnie, but you tell me how they're sweating out an under in this first one.
Now, you use the right terminology, sweating it out, Joe. Why is that? 95 degrees at first pitch in the afternoon game. So let's understand this, because we're human beings, and you have to be a pro baseball player. You go out and use some effort in 95 degrees in the sun in the outfield for 3 hours. Then you take a small break and they go, hey, I don't know if I have energy to play tonight. Watch out for game number 2. I'm just saying, watch out for game number 2 tonight, what those starting lineups would be. Because doubleheaders in 70 degrees, a little bit different than doubleheaders in 95-degree temperatures in the heat and humidity in the Charm City. Let's head up to New York here and take a look at Tampa Bay versus New York. Boyle and Fried. Fried, the lefty, will be on the mound. He's a heavy favorite. We're not surprised by that. Some outlets as high as a minus 195 to 196, depending on where you're shopping at. A total in this game listed at 8.5 across the board. Boyle going against Fried. Heavy price on Fried here. How do we feel about the Yankees? I know you like the Yankees yesterday. Come on now, Yanks. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. This is here's the problem with Fried is that unless I'm missing something, you can't watch him and tell me you think this guy's 100%, because he is absolutely
what's going on?
There's something going on with him. Blister, no blister. He has not been the same pitcher now that he was to start the season. So now we got a Yankees team who, without Aaron Judge, we've seen this. They've played 56 games without him last year, and they were bottom 5 in every offensive category there was. They could not score. Does that continue with a bullpen game here? 94 degrees. I'll tell you what. I think they're going to score. I think both teams are going to score here. I got no problem looking at the over in this game in the Bronx tonight.
Yeah, and again, you're going to get those warm conditions. You're going to get 2 pitchers, and you're right. The blister, like Max Fried was like, is he the Cy Young? Like, is he the Cy Young of the American League? He was pitching that well, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to miss some time. I got a blister on my finger. Maybe that's affecting the breaking ball. But the one thing that we do know is the Yankee bats didn't come to life yesterday. Only 2 runs. This is a pitcher you probably can get after at 90 degrees at first pitch. This isn't even a day game. This is a 7:05 start in one of the better hitting ballparks in Major League Baseball. If you look at the lineup over the past 30 days for the Yankees against right-handed pitching, it checks out extremely well, Joe. Grisham, Bellinger, Stanton, Chisholm, Dominguez, McMahon, and Wells, really high numbers. And we're not talking about, hey, they hit lefties well. They had 15 at-bats over the past month. Look at some of these at-bats, Joe. 54, 52, 71, 56, 70, 65, 71, and 41. You have some good sample sizes here where we should be getting runs tonight. Just a matter of those Max Fried starts and how they wind up. But if you are looking at that price point, the one thing that is tough to do is, hey, I want to take the Yankees. Sometimes it's better if the Yankees win, they're probably going to score 5 runs tonight. Maybe that's the better way to go on the team total than laying almost a minus 200 price on the New York Yankees. Full card today. We'll see how it plays out. We got guests, people coming up. That includes Kevin Walsh. I think he used to be the host at one time for TEL. We'll find that out and much more from the Walsh Man.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
To be able to get in the college football playoff. And the 3 games I mentioned, if they win at least one of those, guess what? They'll finish 10-2, and they'll be in the college football playoff without fail. So I think when it all comes down to it, that's really what this is about, team success as much as it is individual success. And if Arch has this team playing well and winning 10 games, I think the Heisman numbers are going to be there to back that up just based off of the offense that they play and how they move the football.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Oh, we are having some fun on the early line here on a Tuesday morning, no doubt about it. It's myself, Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Ranieri, and look at this. How did we get this guy? This guy hasn't seen 10 a.m. in months, and now he's up rising and grinding with us. It's Kevin Walsh, people. Welcome, Kevin Walsh, to the early line. You ever been on the show before?
I sure have, and I got to say, I imagine this is the first time the two of you have smiled in a couple of days. So I'm happy to get here. Bring up the spirits, get everybody excited. I mean, it's almost football season, right, Donnie? You're through the dregs of summer, and now we're here. We're getting ready. A lot to be excited about.
Now, if anybody doesn't know, like Kevin doesn't really make appearances on the early line because in the offseason outside of football, he tells me he doesn't have much to talk about. He's got to save all his thoughts. He has his own show. Can't use any of that material because there's not enough to go around. By the way, last time you were on the early line, you tried to sneak in a donut one time, and people weren't too happy about that. Do you remember that day?
No, that was a few times ago. I think the last time I was on the early line, it was live from New Orleans. I'm pretty sure. And the segment ended with Lisi banging on the hotel door, wondering why I wasn't answering his phone call. So I'm pretty sure that's the most recent time.
I actually thought the last time was a certain Philadelphia 76ers game. They got knocked out of the playoffs where we're talking about a certain guard that had a good game or not. But we don't have to go down that. Who he played for at this point, which is a perfect scenario of who he played for today. Aaron Judge, we know you're a Yankee fan. We're watching this. Just a few ago, Kevin, a minus 20,000 price was showing up on Aaron Judge to be the MVP. We reassess those odds today. He's not even the favorite right now. It's Cal Raleigh at a minus 125 price. It's Aaron Judge at a minus 105. If you take a look at the statistics here, 41 bombs for Raleigh, 37 bombs for Aaron Judge, 85 RBI, 87 RBI, right in the same mix. I asked Joe Ranieri this question yesterday. Does it just come down to who hits more home runs is going to be the MVP this year? And how do you feel about this winding up with Judge on the IL?
Yeah, I think the biggest reason for the move on Judge is we don't know if he's coming back. I think that's the panic that exists out there, and it's why those numbers are wrong. We just don't know which way. If Judge isn't coming back, then Cal Raleigh should be minus 500 or better. If Judge is coming back, he should go right back to minus 300 because that's the most pro Cal Raleigh graphic I've ever seen. We remove batting average, slugging, on base, OPS, wins above replace, home runs, and RBI. All right, Cal Raleigh's got this whole thing figured out, but a batting average 70 points less than that of Aaron Judge. So this is an instance for me where if Judge is back by mid-August, he should still be the favorite. I just feel like we have no idea if Aaron Judge is actually coming back.
Well, I better hope he comes back. And by the way, I was on the Yankees last night, Walsh, and everything was going swimmingly until Luka Doncic shows up in the booth for some reason for like 3 innings, and then everything went off the rail. I'm like, who's letting him on the broadcast right now? This is awful. But you bring up a great point when it comes to Aaron Judge, though. If both guys are close to 50 home runs or a few more than 50 home runs, what's the differential between those two, Cal Raleigh and Thing? I mean, don't we have to look at media market and all the other stats that Judge brings to the table? Just hitting 55 home runs is not going to be enough for Cal Raleigh to win this, no?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, especially because of Cal Raleigh, right? Second most home runs ever at the All-Star break behind the Barry Bonds season. Just Cal Raleigh individually, I think 55 home runs. I'm not going to say that's a disappointment, but we're wondering, can this guy push the American League record that Judge currently holds? Now, if he's able to break through that record, I think that could certainly be enough to swing it in his direction. But let's not forget, Aaron Judge was, again, pacing towards a potential Triple Crown. At the time of the injury, Aaron Judge was actually still favored to finish with the most home runs in the regular season. And again, if Judge is back in a timely enough fashion, something like that to me is still on the board. I also imagine, Joe, part of the reason Luka showing up was maybe threw everything off. He's so skinny now. Nobody can focus. They're like, is that Luka Doncic? Whoa.
Yep.
And that probably, that's not a lot of runs in that game because Luka's so skinny.
Yep.
Man is in shape right now, getting after right now, Luka Doncic. And I saw him with the, I think it was the bat and the double gum cleats, as they call them, for Aaron Judge yesterday. We'll see how it turns out for Aaron Judge. Also, the Yankees are an 11-1 price right now to win the World Series. The Dodgers are the plus 220 price here. The Mets follow by 8-1, and the Phillies at plus 850. But we didn't come here to talk Major League Baseball and the odds here. We came to talk about the goods today, and that's the 99 Club for John Madden football coming up next. Now, we have a graphic that we're going to post on the screen, Kevin, and I want you to look at this closely because sometimes I just do quick glances at things. You can't see really the names up top of the screen. So when they flashed it up, I look around, all of a sudden, I go, damn, Jalen Carter made the 99 Club. How about that? That's Saquon Barkley in the foreground? No, it's not. Like, who did this?
Listen, I will be honest. I think the Eagle who I initially didn't recognize was Lane Johnson. I think because in my heart of hearts, Donnie, I think Jordan Mailata maybe deserved that 99 rating a little bit more than Lane. Ooh. And maybe that's what was kind of the push and pull there. But look, Saquon gets top billing, the cover athlete, offensive player of the year. He deserves all that. Am I the only one who thought it was noteworthy that the greatest quarterback to ever walk planet Earth couldn't even crack the 99 Club because he's been pretty average for the last 2 regular seasons?
Is he 101 though? But is he 101 though, not the 99 Club?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I didn't realize Aaron Rodgers, you thought of him that much. Let me ask you this here, Kev, if I can. Who got snubbed on this list here? Like, shouldn't Micah Parsons be there? Or I mean, who do you think should have been in this 99 Club?
So I do think it is incredible that they clearly just want it to be the stars. And they're like, I guess we need a defensive player. All right, Miles is really good. I guess we need an offensive lineman. Okay, Lane is good. Like Pat Surtain's the reigning DPOY. Again, I love Lane Johnson, but Penny Sewell and Jordan Mailata, arguably Trent Williams, all have an equally good a case then to be a 99. I almost, instead of adding, Joe, you probably could make an argument they could have subtracted one wide receiver, one quarterback, trim this list down. Josh Allen didn't need to be there. And I think Justin Jefferson's better than Jamar Chase, but Chase is coming off the Triple Crown. So JJ could be a 98. I think they could have maybe been a little more selective with the list.
By the way, take a look at the list here over the years. Like Aaron Donald was on there 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, 24, and obviously retired in 25. But you look at some of the other guys on the list, like Mahomes was there 2021, 2022, 24, and 25, who's not on the list now at this point. Also, this is the largest 99 club that we've seen over the past couple of years. Now, if we look at the graphic that was posted here with the odds, right? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Myles Garrett, and Lane Johnson, which we don't have odds for here. Is there one bet, Kevin, out of all those? I asked Joe Ranieri the same question that you would make in that market of the 99 club.
Easily Lane Johnson to make a 7th Pro Bowl. I'll take those odds if they could. Well, they are doing this. What is it? Enforcer of the Year? What is that award now? They're giving out Protector of the Year for the offensive linemen. So I do wonder if Lane Johnson could maybe get one of those, because you have to wonder how much longer he'll actually be in the race. Of that mix, the Lamar one jumps off the page because it's very Jokic-esque when Embiid won his MVP, and next year everyone's like, all right, listen, maybe we shouldn't have done that, but we got you next year. As long as the Ravens are as good as everybody thinks, Lamar is the rightful MVP favorite.
Yeah, and one of the best things there about Madden, like the 99 club, is when you start. Like I remember growing up, Kevin, where you had players in that game that weren't rated correctly to start the season, but we didn't have internet, so you weren't getting the updates. Like, man, this wide receiver is legitimate. Like Willie Flipper Anderson of the Rams. Like, man, this guy can play here. Why is he rated so low? Exactly. Yeah. Dante Stallworth scoring touchdowns opening day against the Houston Texans way back when he was like lined up with the boys in Philadelphia. Guy was a superstar. Absolutely. But yeah, like now we have the internet. Did these 99s fall back to 98, 97s after week 2 with a bad performance? I don't know. Maybe they do. Let's talk some more NFL action next with Mr. Kevin Walsh.
Already doing the dusting of the spot of where this one was going to go after Augusta this year, and the players, he's had this insane start to the year. We won 3 times. Surely Scotty Scheffler isn't going to have a resume by July that's going to be way better. It's just, there's no way. But here we are. It's Scotty Scheffler with 2 majors on the year.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Christopher Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies is one of 3 Major League Baseball pitchers to have a 7-start span featuring an undefeated record, a sub-1.5 ERA, 50 or more innings pitched, 50 or more strikeouts, fewer than 5 walks, no more than 1 home run allowed.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Action is hot on the early line, no doubt about it. Donnie Rightside and also Joe Ranieri. Kevin Walsh joins us here, and also Kevin Walsh does game time decisions during the week. 6:30 start. We're heading into football season. Some changes certainly coming along the path, but some good things to look forward to, Kevin. What can we look forward to on GTD with the energy this year?
Yeah, it's a great question, DRS. And, with football season right around the corner, you want to start to ramp things up a little bit. So tonight we're going to do the first Kevin 7. It could be, look, we could have done quarterbackings. It may be futures, best bets, whatever it may be. Tonight we'll start with 7 possible Super Bowl futures, because as I went through these Super Bowl odds, there were 7 teams that I thought I could see myself ultimately landing on. And I think it's important to remind people, it's really important to remind people that last year on Game Time Decisions, the preseason Super Bowl winner was the Philadelphia Eagles. So just like the Eagles, I myself am trying to repeat this year, Donnie and Joe. So a lot of pressure. So that's why we're taking a slow approach here and going through 7 possible options.
I like that, too. And don't be afraid, Kevin, to not release this until 2 to 3 weeks into the season. We have all the numbers in place. Yes. Can you hold out for a month and a half? Because that's the best way to absolutely do it at this point. You can sit back, relax, get all your ducks in a row, and get after it here. But if we are talking about NFL action, it's on the horizon. And Thursday night, we do have a football game. If we are looking at the NFL, and again, not much is going to change from now until we see these teams play in week number 1, unless we have catastrophic injuries. But some of these lines are always bouncing around. The Ravens now in the top spot, plus 650. The Bills at 7-1 here. The Philadelphia Eagles at plus 750. The Chiefs at 8-1. The Lions at 10-1. We see those 50-cent or so moves here on a day-to-day basis, bouncing back and forth. Is there any momentum for you for a team entering into training camp with the price points that we're seeing now?
Yeah, there are a few teams who I'll be considering. The one team that I thought I would, give a little sneak peek and discuss, because it's probably one that people wouldn't think I would be considering, but it is the Washington Commanders. And look, part of that obviously being the most unbiased man in the history of sports media, someone has to do it. But this is a team whose schedule lines up really, really nicely, where I think they have themselves a pretty high floor, which calm some of the concerns about a step back for a team who was so fortunate in a lot of these one-score games. I think defensively, there's a real chance for this team to take a big-time leap. I like Dan Quinn a lot as a head coach. I thought that was a really, really good hire when they made it, especially since they were able to pair him with Cliff Kingsbury. That secondary has some upside with year 2 Mike Sandstrel and the rookie that they got in round number 2 and Trey Amos, who had a lot of round 1 buzz. Maybe a full season of Marshawn Lattimore can up things as well. Bobby Wagner's just going to be forever one of the 5 best linebackers in football. So it's a really, really strong back 7. And then you put your eyes on the offense, where we try and figure out what kind of step forward could Jaden Daniels actually have. I think I've spent a lot of this offseason expecting Jaden Daniels to take a step back because of C.J. Stroud, but maybe Jaden Daniels takes a sophomore leap. That's usually what we expect from quarterbacks, and if that happens with what should be an improved offensive line, Laramie Tunsil comes over from Houston, they draft Connerly in round number 1 out of Oregon, they add in Deebo Samuel, they have to figure out this Terry McLaurin piece of it, because if you don't have Terry, all of a sudden the weapons that Daniels is working with is really, really subpar, not much in the running back room. But I think that Washington is a team who I wasn't expecting to be interested in, guys, but I am legitimately considering. We also know a new team wins the NFC East every single season somehow, some way for over 2 decades.
What do you have more questions with, Kev, going in here? Because it feels like I can name a lot more of the AFC division winners and who's going to finish first than I can necessarily in the NFC. Outside of, let's just say it, until somebody beats them, Philadelphia is going to win the NFC East, right? But then after that, where does it go? I mean, you're more solidified in what you believe is going to happen in the AFC or the NFC?
No, it's such a good question. And I think the tough thing is we know that usually these things change and it's not always the obvious team. Who's given an AFC East winner other than Buffalo? Right. I mean, really? Like, because I don't even think New England's that good. I don't think they gave Drake May enough on offense. The schedule's so bad that it's like, okay, they could probably win 8-9 games. Like, I see why that win total's high, but I'm not picking them to win that division, you would realistically, you would probably need Josh Allen, or maybe that's the better way to say it. You would need one of these elite quarterbacks to miss significant time, and that could start to open things up a little bit. And that's one of the things I feel like in the last 3 or so years, people talk about how good the AFC is. And the AFC has elite quarterback play, no doubt about it. Arguably the 4 best quarterbacks in football all are in the AFC. I think the NFC has way more depth. You're telling me the Chicago Bears have the longest odds to win the NFC North? The Chicago Bears would be booked as favorites to win the AFC South. The Chicago Bears would be the second best team in the AFC East. And I think the Chicago Bears could be just as good as the Cincinnati Bengals because, I mean, all the issues that Cincinnati had last year on defense, I think Chicago looks to take a step forward in that direction. So it's one of those things, Joe. I think part of that security in the AFC is because they're not as deep as the NFC is.
Let me ask you a question about a team in the NFC right now, because over the past couple of years, Kevin, we really weren't questioning that all that much. Like, usually one of the best rosters in football. That's the San Francisco 49ers. Purdy got his money, and it's apparent that you can't afford everybody once you pay your quarterback $50+ million. The defense is a little bit in flux, but wide receiver, Ayuk, they don't know when he's coming back. They don't even have a timetable. Juwan Jennings just got paid, then just got hurt here with a soft tissue injury. Ricky Pearsall, who knows what we're getting out of? We're supposed to believe that Christian McCaffrey's still the best running back in the NFL when at any given moment he can get Achilles tendonitis. What is the 49ers prognosis?
I think for San Francisco, if you're going to try and sell yourself on that football team, you have to remember that Kyle Shanahan has routinely been seen as one of the 5 best coaches, at times argued as maybe the second best coach in football. And whether it's a combination, right? Pearsall, Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, McCaffrey, who knows what other guy they find. As long as Kyle Shanahan is calling the plays, you're in a good spot until you get up 10 in the Super Bowl, and then he obviously forgets how to call anything good.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, Kevin, in the early line, you're making guest appearances. UTD's finest. We love to see it. Right here on the SportsGrid Network. We'll be back right after this short break.
He was already doing the dusting of the spot of where this one was going to go after Augusta this year. And the players, he's had this insane start to the year. We won 3 times. Surely Scotty Scheffler isn't going to have a resume by July that's going to be way better. It's just, there's no way. But here we are. It's Scotty Scheffler with 2 majors on the year.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Christopher Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies is one of 3 Major League Baseball pitchers to have a 7-start span featuring an undefeated record, a sub-1.5 ERA, 50 or more innings pitched, 50 or more strikeouts, fewer than 5 walks, no more than 1 home run allowed.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right.
Final segment here for the early line as we get back at it. We're going to give some best bets in the show. Didn't work out in our favor yesterday. That's okay. It's a new day. It's new money, and I see some good picks on the horizon for us. But we did have some big news that we didn't cover throughout the 2 hours of the show, and that was from New York City yesterday. And as the information comes in and unfolds, like we see like violence on a day-to-day basis. That doesn't surprise. But the violence coming from a person that was looking to head into Fifth Avenue to the NFL headquarters and do damage, to say the least. That's really eye-opening on the sports landscape. Coming across now, they're unfiltered reports, I should say, where, a guy that might have had CTE, but why he's going after the NFL. But whenever it's in the NFL landscape, that is a big deal here. And even Roger Goodell sent out a tweet or a memo this morning, basically understanding what happened yesterday and the prognosis that they're going to go through and how they're going to remedy some of these situations. But that's real-life situations where the NFL headquarters essentially were attacked yesterday, Joe.
Yeah, and it's just scary. It really, really is. And it's so unfortunate that it had to happen and people had to lose their lives. It's just, the whole thing is just, it's disheartening. I mean, here we are. We should be talking about getting ready for the NFL season with some, on Thursday to kick it all off. And yet here we have a situation in which a crazy guy goes in with a gun and starts opening fire on Park Avenue. It's absolutely mind-numbing.
Yeah, 4 people were killed in that office building, shooting yesterday, which was the NFL headquarters, and the guy took the wrong elevator where he couldn't find where the NFL headquarters were at. Just a shame situation all the way around. Certainly our prayers go out to all those affected there. And sometimes you just live day to day and say, I just hope it gets better, and we hope it gets better as well, and for the NFL workers as well on Fifth Avenue. Let's head to another topic here, and that's giving out picks here, Joe. We want to go 2-0 today. That's the goal. And here's bye. All right, Joe Ranieri, I know the Yankees let you down yesterday. So today, heading back into the sports landscape, you can do Major League Baseball, the WNBA, whatever it is. But I got a feeling you're going back to baseball and you want revenge. Who are you going with today?
Yeah, I am going back to baseball because the Yankees disappointed, but I do not believe the Kansas City Royals are disappointing tonight here at home as they get ready to take on the Atlanta Braves in Game 2. And listen, nice, rare road win by Atlanta yesterday. 3 home runs, but the 14 walks is just head-scratching. It really is. Seth Lugo on the mound tonight. Just got himself an extension, got his money on a 2-year deal. He is going to be able to exhale a little bit here. I think he'll have no problem limiting this Braves team who, let's face it, they've won 5 times as a road underdog in 21 attempts. This is not a good team on the road. They're not a good team at all. I think Lugo handles business, and you got Eric Fetty going for the Braves. That's how bad it is for the Braves right now, that they had to get this guy off the scrap heap from the Cardinals because every one of their opening day starters is on the IL. Yeah, no, I'm going Kansas City at a cheap price to get it done and bounce back here tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you don't bet it. You're like, what am I doing here? Like, Lugo was on the mound, and it's just Fetty gave up 6 runs over 2 innings. I stayed away from it. And then there's the other side of it. It's like, of course you knew Fetty would basically get cut, reappear in a great hitting condition ballpark with 95 degrees, and go 6 innings, give up 1 earned run, something he never does. He's a bad pitcher. He should get hit today. I like where you're going with that, Joe Ranieri. For myself, I'm going to have some fun with this. I'm going to include 2 games. And in these 2 games, Joe Ranieri, each team in those games to score at least 2 runs here. That's between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Chicago White Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Francisco Giants. Luzardo has been really struggling for the Phillies. You know what? The one thing that Chicago White Sox do well, they hit left-handed pitching. They hit the best maybe left-handed pitcher in the game yesterday in the National League and torched him up for 6 runs. Their team total yesterday, it was only 2.5. You take a look at Cannon on the mound. The Phillies yesterday, sometimes they do struggle, but Bryce Harper had an RBI double, which drove in 2 just by himself. I think each one of those teams gets at least 2 runs there. And then game number 2, Falter's a terrible pitcher. Verlander's a terrible pitcher. Oh, Donnie, it's not a hitter's environment, it's a pitcher's environment. You see last night, double-digit runs in that game. Each one of those 2 good teams, Joe, to get 2 runs. So Phillies, White Sox, Pirates, and Giants, each to get 2 runs apiece, minus 125 price. Have some fun. Early game, late game, and away we go. How about that for a bye? Switching it up a little bit here.
Ooh, all under the clock, too. Outstanding stuff. And yes, I think a lot more overs we're going to see here over the next coming days with the temperatures across the country.
No doubt. We'll see you guys again on the early line tomorrow, which, again, if you have any major trades coming up, the trade deadline's on Thursday, and you are one step closer from watching football on your TV in the NFL in the Hall of Fame game. For Donnie Wright and Joe Ranieri, thanks for tuning into the Sports Grid Network and the early line. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.